We start with something that looks small but dangerous, a personal decision that has the effect of a magnitude 10 earthquake on the music industry. Jungkook, having spent 2025 with the global success of 7, 3D, and other international collaborations, decided to prepare his new project with an independent creative team. Not Hybe's internal team. Not a permanent producer of the company. It's a mix of European producers, Japanese art directors, American designers, and a number of South Korean visual creators who have never worked under the traditional idol system. With that move alone, Hybe lost control early on. Typically, each BTS artist's project is approved, curated, and tailored to the label strategy. But this time, Jungkook said calmly, "I want to make something that can't be categorized." The sentence brought Hybe's entire planning system to a standstill for a moment. Because how can you organize something that can't be categorized? From there, word spread this project is not just an album, but a multimedia expansion project that combines music, fashion, visual arts, and AI technologies in one narrative. Jungkook worked with several European AI labs, creating an interactive system where fans could interact with sounds and visuals that changed based on emotional reactions. He is even directly involved in the design of the digital display, from the color tone, futuristic clothing design, to the psychological concept behind it. Hybe was shocked that all of this went outside the official timeline. No announcements, no press releases. But rumors about this project exploded on global forums, overtaking all the official promotions of other artists' Hybe. Internal sources said management held 3 emergency meetings just to map the potential risks of Jungkook's project to the company's image. And the result? They didn't find a way to stop it without looking like it was hampering the artist's own creativity. So they choose to be silent, wait, and hope this project can be controlled slowly. But what happened? Every little leak that comes out from the visuals, to the set, to the mysterious soundtrack, triggers a spike in searches on Google, Weibo, and TikTok by 800%. The world started talking about the Jungkook 2026 project even before there was an official teaser. In other words, Jungkook managed to break through the walls of the industrial system that had limited artists and create an organic wave that no one could control, not even Hybe herself. For Hybe, each artist project is an investment calculated in as much detail as possible, from production costs, potential profits, to the impact of corporate branding. But this time, their calculations failed miserably, because the Jungkook 2026 project is evolving into something that cannot be measured. Hybe finance team could not determine the exact investment value, because the project involves cross-country collaborators without a standard royalty system. The marketing team couldn't determine a promotion schedule, as Jungkook didn't want a campaign, he wanted a digital life experience that ran for a full year. And the legal team? They were confused, as the copyright for his visuals and AI technology was registered in Jungkook's own name, not Hybe's. This is where the panic begins. The internal report said that some of Hybe's directors had proposed to pull the project back into the company's system so that it could be controlled. But the problem was, the project was already underway, too far, too big, and involving too many parties outside of Hybe. It was as if Jungkook knew exactly when to step so as not to be pulled back. Executives will eventually have to take on a new position, no longer as directors, but as observers from a distance. And for a company as big as Hybe, that position is the scariest thing. But what makes them even more surprised is the data. When Hybe tried to compare the Jungkook project's digital engagement with their other official artist campaigns, the difference was striking. The ratio of searches and public reactions to Jungkook's projects was up to 450% higher than any campaign in Hybe's history. This is not just an artist's project, it is a social phenomenon. Jungkook managed to create a system outside the system, and every time Hybe tried to fit in, Jungkook was already one step ahead. He showed the world that the real power is not in control, but in the confidence to create something that cannot be imitated. Hybe must now face the fact that even they, the creators of the global idol system, cannot control artists who are too big for the system itself. If Hybe is built on the principles of efficiency, control, and consistency, then the Jungkook 2026 project is its total antithesis. It is a creative freedom that has no fixed form, but that is precisely its strength. When the first teaser finally surfaced, a mysterious 47-second video with no Hybe logo, no label name, just a visual symbol connected to Jungkook's identity, the internet exploded. Within 6 hours, the video was trending #1 in 29 countries with no paid promotion at all. Many industry analysts are beginning to refer to this as the decentralization of K-pop, where power is no longer centered on agencies, but rather on artists who have full awareness of their own power. The world realized one thing: Jungkook is no longer just a part of Hybe, he is his own ecosystem. This 2026 project made many large companies start to change their strategies. Labels in the US began opening up the option of artist-controlled creative direction, while Japanese agencies began training artists to understand the independent production system, all because of one person. And for Hybe, this is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, Jungkook carries an invaluable global reputation, but on the other hand, he also proved that the Hybe system is no longer absolute. The world of entertainment is changing, and that change started with a person once known as Maknae, who is now a symbol of a new era of global industry. As 2026 draws near, one thing is clear: Hybe is no longer in control, as the global entertainment industry revolves around one name, Jungkook. No one ever imagined, however, that a company as large as Hybe, known for its precision management, image control, and high-accuracy designed promotion systems, would get to the point where they themselves no longer control the direction of one of its artists. But here's the reality. Jungkook, with his 2026 project, has created something that even Hybe can't break. At first, many considered this news just gossip. But as leak after leak comes out, from exclusive contracts with tech companies in Europe to secret collaborations with top Japanese film directors, one thing becomes clear: Jungkook is building his personal creative empire, and Hybe can only watch it grow from afar. According to industry sources, Jungkook has started preparing for the project since late 2024, when he visited several major cities such as London, Tokyo, and Los Angeles. All the visits that were once thought to be just personal trips turned out to be part of the research. He visits art galleries, film studios, and even an interactive AI lab that combines human emotion data with digital visual creation. And what is even more interesting, most of the expenses of this project did not come from Hybe funds. Jungkook uses private funds and independent sponsorship from several global brands that have long wanted to work with him outside the boundaries of the label. Hybe only learned of its scale when the project was already running at almost 70%. In an emergency meeting, the finance directors were reportedly surprised that all the project documents were registered in the name of JK Creative, a small team that Jungkook formed himself. Technically, Hybe does not have full rights to the intellectual assets of the project. He didn't break the contract, but he rewrote the rules, said a Korean entertainment analyst. And it's at this point that the Hybe start to lose their balance because they realize that the control that used to be their power is now a hindrance to something much bigger than the system itself. The entertainment world suddenly realized that too strict controls could actually make innovation escape. And when the innovation was named Jungkook, no one could resist it anymore. When the Western media began to smell this change, their reaction was almost uniform: surprise and admiration. Forbes called it the turning point of Asian entertainment, while Rolling Stone wrote that Jungkook's project was the future blueprint for independent superstardom. CNN even reports that Jungkook's phenomenon has sparked discussions among major American labels about the future of global artist management. But the most interesting thing is how the media described Hybe's position in this situation. In many analyses, Hybe is no longer described as the master of the idol system, but rather a company that is trying to balance two poles: Jungkook's unlimited innovation and the traditional control system they have built over the years. In America, some music journalists began to refer to it as the Jungkook effect, a phenomenon in which artists are no longer controlled by labels but become the center of gravity of the industry itself. They are reminiscent of great figures such as Michael Jackson or Beyoncé, who at a certain time managed to redefine the meaning of independent artist despite still working in a large system. But what makes Jungkook different is his scale. He does it all from Korea, from what has always been the strictest system in the world. And from there, he opened a gap in the wall that had been considered impossible to penetrate. The world now sees Hybe as a symbol of two colliding realities: the old structure and a new revolution born from within her own body. Social media is rife with debate. Is this the beginning of an era of free artists in K-pop? Or is it precisely the point at which the traditional idol system is beginning to lose relevance? Whatever the answer, one thing is certain: Jungkook's name is now not only part of BTS's history, but also a pioneer of a new movement that is rewriting the map of the global entertainment industry. The phrase most often repeated by those closest to Jungkook during the process of this project was, "He doesn't chase money, he builds a legacy." And maybe that's the point of everything. At a time when most artists were busy adjusting to the market, Jungkook instead built something that made the market adjust to him. He knew very well that the world was changing, that the younger generation no longer just wanted to be fans, but part of an artist's journey. Therefore, the 2026 project is not designed as an album for sale, but rather a living experience. Every element in it, music, fashion, visuals, to digital interactions, is designed to make the audience feel part of Jungkook's world, not just a passive audience. Analysts say that this is a model of entertainment of the future, where artists are no longer just singers, but architects of human experience. And this is where Jungkook excels. He understands the psychology of fans, understands the rhythm of social media, and knows when to appear or disappear. He never did conventional promotions, but every appearance felt like a global event. When Project 2026 launches, many believe its impact will not only be felt in music, but in the fashion, film, and even technology industries. Hybe himself is now at a crossroads. Will they try to regain control, or learn from Jungkook and let their system evolve? Because, as one American music columnist put it, when Jungkook made his move, the industry had no choice but to follow. And perhaps, despite all the panic and excitement, Hybe must finally come to terms with this reality, that they have helped create not just a superstar, but a global force that even their system is no longer able to limit. 2026 hasn't started yet. But one thing is certain, the Jungkook era has just begun, and no one can stop it.